100%.
If you say you can't do it,
And you can't do it.
You can't
The man
do
who
it.
says he can do it and the man who says he can't do it are
they're both
they're
right.
both right. So and one day randomly, the mom goes up to the oldest daughter, right? Because I think she's in junior or senior year, right? And she's like, tomorrow, you're gonna move. Don't tell any of your friends that you're moving. We're just moving tomorrow, right? And so you know how teenagers can be. They have to live that somehow, right? So that evening,
There could be someone that I haven't even met that impacted me.
that impacted you.
Because they impacted other people.
And other people.
And who impacted me.
Man, oh man.
Another
We
episode,
back here.
man.
Another
Bruh,
episode.
I feel like ever since our first nature episode, man.
Bro, we just wanted to be in nature,
yeah,
bro.
We just can't get enough of it, bro.
I can't get enough of nature, bro.
Bro, we ain't been back to the room, to the podcast room.
Yo, in like
since
how
then,
long?
bro.
I think almost a month.
Yeah, man.
It's been a month since we've been back in the room.
Yeah,
Bro, because
bro.
I feel like it's something... Bro, I feel like all humans have like some natural response to just wanting to be outside,
Yeah,
bro.
bro.
Unless you play the game all day, bro. You just sitting in the crib.
I feel
But-
it. Nah, because it just feels
It's
like
very
more-
refreshing. It's
more
very
refreshing.
grounding.
Grounding,
Super
yeah.
grounding.
Yeah, exactly,
So,
bro.
You want to talk a little bit about how you was in the room taking your little AP test today?
Man,
AP
so-
US history.
So today, if you don't know, I'm a junior in high school, and today I took the AP US History exam, right? For those who took it, man, there's been I've seen some like mixed.
I've seen a lot of mixed opinions.
Yeah, exactly, mixed opinions.
Because what was the prompt? It was something about changing powers?
Yeah, it was something about the changing in the role of the federal government, right? But that was for me, that's exactly what I studied, and that's exactly what, bro. I just wrote a lot. Yeah. I came in there. Luckily, I was prepared and ready for that DBQ for that essay. Everything there. I just did my part.
Exactly.
And you got your test.
I got AP pre-calculus next week. Man, look, I was supposed to be taking 2. You laughing like it's funny. I was supposed to be taking 2 AP exams, but the other one I said yes, but for some reason I didn't get an exam. So it was only a few people in the class that took the exam. But it's whatever, man. Look, I'm gonna do really good on this little AP pre-calc exam, I hope. I'm gonna do good on this AP pre-calc exam, right? But how do you think you did? What do you think that number's gonna be in July, once you get that number in July?
But I hate that question, bro.
Tell us what you think.
Because, bro, a 4 or 5, I don't think I got anything less than that.
I'm thinking you got a 5, bro.
Yeah, bro, we gonna see.
I'm thinking you got a 5.
Yeah, bro.
But, bro, this made me think
Wait, hold
about...
on. We gotta stop my dad's calling me.
Oh. No, we'll just keep that in.
No, we just gonna keep...
Call
we
the
just gonna,
pops.
Yes. Yeah. I'm not home. School. I'm at school. He just hung up.
Yo, what's up with... Bro, what's up with dads, bro? They'll call you, and then they won't even say anything, then they'll just hang up, bro. That's the type of dad I'm gonna be, bro. Bro, I saw this TikTok. And it was like, everything that I'm doing right now is me building up my dad lore.
Bro, for real.
As a kid, everything
really
I'm doing
thinking about that.
is me building up my dad. Bro, what is one thing you think you've done in your life so far that you tell your kids, bro?
Dang,
Like some
that's
crazy junk. I
That's
already
a
know what
good
I'm telling
question.
them.
Really?
I'm telling them that I made movies, bro.
Yeah, bro. Not
Something that I
everybody.
made
It gotta be
movies.
some, that's unique to you. Something that's towards your own personality. And it's like, bro, I feel like one of my biggest fear is like not having a story to tell, bro. Not having
Plato said living in an unexamined life.
Yeah, bro.
Living in an unexamined life.
Yeah, exactly.
Bro.
Because I feel like legacy is very
so important.
Very important to me,
So
bro.
important.
Like just having something that you have left behind,
100%.
and like making an impact
100%.
Somehow, somewhere,
100%.
having
and
stories to
the
tell.
people that you impact.
Exactly.
Because I feel like people will judge you based off the last things that you did.
Yeah,
You
bro.
feel me? Like, I feel like even if we look towards sports or something, they call the championship rounds in boxing the last couple rounds. Meaning that 12th round is so important.
Yeah.
Right? And I think we can think of our life as always living the 12th round.
Yeah.
Because we're always... I feel like a good rule of thumb is to, when you do something, think of it as the last thing you're going to do. And people are going to remember you based off that last thing. You feel me? So judges will look at the 12th round and they'll be like, nah, that guy did really good. Even if he was losing the whole fight.
Really?
You feel me? Yeah, but I mean, it depends. Like if you were losing all 11 rounds, bro.
Of
They
course.
ain't gonna give you all the rounds.
Yeah, of course.
But I'm saying like if you were in and out the whole fight, and then that 12th round you really went in.
You finished really strong.
Exactly, you finished really strong. So I think that's a really good point.
Yeah, that's
always
life
live,
right there.
Exactly, and people always say live every day like it's your last.
Mm-hmm.
But make sure everything that you do leaves a lasting impression.
Exactly.
Everything that you lose.
Exactly. Because a lot of times your legacy outlives you, bro.
Oh yeah.
Like what you leave behind outlives you 100%.
It's so important, bro.
And
it's so important.
You can never know. You can never truly know like what kind of impact that you have on other people, and because like, we all impact one another. We all impact each other, bro. There could be someone that I haven't even met that impacted me.
That impacted you
because they impacted other people.
Other people
and who impacted me, right? And
so we all got our lore.
Yeah, bro.
I have my lore. People who built me up.
Exactly.
People who built you up, and then
it's all building up, and it's like, bro, a lot of people don't really think about that. You know,
no, a lot of people don't.
Like, we're so, as human beings, of course, naturally, since we can only see our own perspectives, we can't truly see
other people's perspective.
No matter how hard we try. So we're always so self-centered.
Yeah.
And because of this self-centeredness, right? Yeah. We tend to forget that, but other people are living this life too. Other people are out there as well.
We think our problems are only our problems.
Exactly.
That's why people tend to feel so alone.
Yes.
Because we don't realize, bro, that hundreds of people going through the same thing. Bro, thousands of people going through the same thing.
The reason why I'm laughing at this is because that's word, bar for bar, what I told this
man.
What
he told me, bro. Yo.
Yeah,
that's so true. Whenever I'm, thinking of something, going through something, you always tell me that, bro. You always tell me that. But and I feel like our minds can limit us in that way.
Yeah, exactly.
Because our minds are, bro, that's like our powerhouse.
Yeah, exactly.
So when we think of something, it's easy for us to get trapped in a box and think like, yo, but this is it, bro. This is all I'm thinking. This is all I know.
This is
right?
all this.
This is how it is, and this is the say all be all, right? When it really isn't like that, bro. There's people who've been through your stuff. You're probably gonna go through that same event more times in your life to build it up, right? Hence why the journey is way better than destination, because you learn on the journey and you open up the journey to different paths in your life. But
that's why, like, for us, like, perspective is everything for us.
Oh, so important.
Everything.
It's so important.
I remember, bro, you wasn't there in class that day, but I told you about it. When Mr. Melmard we was having a conversation with our teacher, our film teacher, he was sitting down and was basically talking about this sort of a negative culture, right?
Yeah.
And he was talking about so how do you change someone? How do you change someone's perspective? How do you change how someone perceives life? And he said the only way you could do that is to take them away from their community
and their environment
and make them see other things that are out there, because most people, all they know is where they're from, where they live, and like because of that, bro, one of the craziest stats, the craziest data that I love to look at is, the biggest factor to how much money someone makes is their zip code.
Whoa.
Is their zip code, right? Is their environment. And that's crazy because, of course there's resources that are available to other people that aren't available to you, but also a lot of the things are mentally, because everyone in a certain environment tends to think the same. Everyone in 100%. A certain community tends to think like everyone else in that community.
Like a
and
gen
so
pop.
General population. And so they either build up on each other or bring each other down. There's no other way to it, or even keep each other the same. Because it's just like we're all impacting each other in our community.
Or positive way.
Exactly.
Yo, that made me think of Plato's Allegory of the Cave. One of the most scary, eye-opening philosophies there is out there, bro. You know how it goes. The three people depicted in the cave, the level one, the people who are shown the projections, which are by a fake light, and that fake light is held up by what? The higher ups, right?
Exactly.
Which example I like to use is Lil Johnny, right? Lil Johnny, he a little kid, and who is that projection held up by? Your parents. Because your environment is the only thing that you know, right?
Exactly.
And that's level one. And then it goes to level two, where the people escape that little part, that little matrix, right?
Yeah.
And now they can see stuff for how it is, almost, right? They have two paths they can choose. They could either choose the path of going back down in that cave and literally just sitting there and getting shown these projections. They have no control over their life, right? It's like a passenger in the car. They're just going with the flow. And then in level two, you can see that there's an opening to get outside of the cave.
Exactly.
But the way Plato explains it in his writings is they can't even look at the fake light for what it is with their eyes, let alone look at the sun. Because you got to get used to the sun, and the sun, what does the sun represent? The sun represents the real light.
The real light, the real knowledge.
And the truth hurts.
Reality,
hence why
yes.
he explains that it literally burns their skin.
Yeah, exactly.
Almost when they get out the cave, bro. So I love that you brought up our environment at a point is the only thing we know until we start getting out of the cave, until we start getting uncomfortable, because it's way more comfortable for us to just sit still than for us to run around, for us to be different, be different people.
Yeah, exactly. Anyone who has accomplished something great or challenged, the sort of
norms.
Social status, the social norms in their community, they had to live in. They had to be uncomfortable.
They had to be uncomfortable. They had to be hated.
Exactly. They had to have the courage to be disliked.
Yeah. Whoa. Ooh, one of the best books.
Yeah, man.
The courage to be disliked.
The courage to be disliked. One of my personal favorite books. And it talks about how, like, essentially what we were talking about right now. Yeah. How, we're shaped by our environment and our, us being humans. Yeah. We all want to fit in our environment. Because we all want to fit in our certain tribes, because that's still around tribalism or like sort of, wanting to
fit in.
Yeah, to fit in. That's still around. That's just our human nature, right? Yeah. And because of that, a lot of people tend to put on a mask. Yeah. They tend to pretend to be someone who they're not, so that they can be liked, so that they can see, so that they can be fit in. And because of that, that brings them down and sort of lowers who could they truly become.
It really boxes them in.
Yes, exactly.
Because you got to think of, bro, all the greatest people were told that they couldn't do something.
Exactly.
All of the greatest people. Bro, we just figured out that Christopher Nolan didn't go to film school.
Oh, yeah,
he couldn't get into film school. And then look at his the different films that he's made.
Exactly.
So it's all up. I feel like at a certain point, it gets to just what you decide to do with your environment and what you decide to do with your certain things, right? Because you can either go on and like bring your community down, or you can bring your community up. And that's why it's so important to stick to whatever you're doing, because you have to have a sense of being authentic to yourself, right? And I was having this conversation with a friend, and it was like we were talking, and it was about how you can be most authentic to yourself. And I realized if you live an unauthentic life, people can easily depict that. People can easily get that, and you can see it in yourself when you live an unauthentic life. And that can hinder from your different goals, from the different paths you might have for yourself. Whereas when you live an authentic life, everything kind of just comes to you, like in the law of attraction, right? Like, bro, you know what you told me when you act like you don't care about the game loading, man. But then the game starts loading when you don't care. But that's not all what the law of attraction is. But it's like if you do what you're meant to do, then everything just comes with it, right? Like a rising tide.
You get out what you put in,
You literally get out what you put in. That's why it's so important to put out, because I think the more you put out, the more people put into you, right? Like that's why having a community of, because humans are meant for each other. We're social creatures. We're social creatures before we're creatures that, bro, we're taught to just live alone and isolate themselves.
Anyone that says, bro, they don't care how people think about them, or they don't care about this and that, they're lying, bro. I've been saying that. They're lying, bro.
People who say that they do not care about what other people think, bro, it's literally programmed in our brains for us to react to our environment.
It's in our human nature, bro.
When somebody tells you, yo, I like this film, you're gonna be pleased with it. If somebody tells you you don't like this film, you're gonna have a negative taste in your mouth.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
And also, it really depends on who it is.
It depends on who's giving the criticism. Yeah. Because to have a negative taste in your mouth, you can go two ways with it. You can either say this person doesn't know what they're talking about, they have no clue, no idea. You feel me? Or they can say, what is it about this person? Because humans think alike. It literally goes back to what we're talking to. A lot of humans think alike. So it's like, if this person might not like this specific thing, then a lot of people might not like it. So let me go back and let me expand upon it.
Constructive criticism. And not take everything to heart.
Because a lot of stuff that we tend to take to heart weren't even meant that way. What was that quote? It was don't attribute to malice. Don't attribute to malice what
can be attributed to
incompetence.
Incompetence
or ignorance.
Yeah.
Bro, so we love to take things to heart as humans. And it hurts us, bro. I remember this. It had to do with the topic of stress, right? And how, like, how to manage stress. Bro, there was this story about this. I think it was a teacher, and he was stressing so much, right? And then randomly throughout the day, he got a headache, and come to find out, I think he passed away, but a blood vessel literally bursted in his brain because of the amount of stress he was taking on, due to his environment, due to the way people were telling him to do these different tasks. And it was a matter of going back to step one and saying, how can I balance the criticism and how can I balance the task? And so that's why I think it's also important to take days to yourself, right? As humans, when we take more days to ourselves, oh my bad, I got distracted. As humans, when we take more days to ourselves, bro, we can recharge. And I think we were talking about this, what it means to actually rest.
Yeah, I think we talked about it in the last episode.
I think we talked about it in the last episode.
Yeah.
But we need to start, I feel like as humans, we need to start being a little bit more selfish. I think we need to start being a little bit more selfish because we give a lot of time to other people, and you can become overstimulated. You can become,
I get it.
Your social battery runs out.
Like, we need to know how to say no sometimes.
100%. But it can be hard for people who are so used to saying yes and who are so used to, how do they break out that box? And I think it starts with them.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it starts with whatever task they have. They might start realizing that if I give more time to this person, if I give more energy to this person, because we're all energy at the end of the day. If I start giving all my energy to whoever it might be, then my social battery's gonna run out, and then I won't have that time for myself.
Yeah, exactly.
That's so important.
You're so right. Everything all starts back to you. You know.
Yeah.
What's your self?
The mountain of you
is bro. What's your self value? You know.
Self-value?
How do you see yourself? Your self identity really?
Yeah.
Because like it really shows through your actions. You know, because like through your actions, people can tell. Oh, like this person does this because you know they think this certain way.
They think a certain way.
When
everything is programmed.
Yeah, everything, bro. Because usually. I've been saying this, right? When someone does something, or even if they do something that's to me, right? I always think that reflects more on them than it is on me, right? Because let's say they're angry, that's not necessarily because of you, but that might be because of them. How they react to certain situations, how they move around in their environment, and how they even see themselves as a person. You know,
it's all about self. How you view yourself, right? That's so important because the way we view ourselves subconsciously, it all comes out.
Yeah, exactly.
No matter how hard you try to hide it, no matter how hard people try to hide it, right? It's literally programmed in us because there's different types of programming. There's a good type of programming. I remember I watched a video on this. There's a good type of programming, and then there's that bad type of programming. You have to be able to program yourself to where whatever it is thrown at you, whatever it is, like people will literally mentally think about you, not necessarily don't care about it, but again, like we said, take in the feedback.
Yeah, exactly. Not take it necessarily to heart.
Yeah, not take it to heart.
I'll come back with like your self-conscious. You know, a lot you could tell when someone is very self-conscious. When someone is like insecure about something. Yeah, you can 100%. You can tell by the way that they respond, but by the way they act to certain things. And a lot of times their insecurities is what's holding them back. What they fear is what's holding them back. Because I was studying, right? I remember this quote from FDR. He said, "The only thing we have to fear is fear itself." Oh, right. And bro, that can be attributed to a lot of things. Not things. At that point, I believe he was either talking about war or something in the economy, right? But you can attribute this to everything that you want to do, man. The only thing that you have to fear is fear itself, right? The only thing that's because sometimes, bro, people like can act as if they're feeling the pain of doing something before they even actually do it.
But that's when people say, "Man, I'm ready to go home from school for tomorrow," bro. Because you can, when you conceptualize it,
yeah, exactly,
you can think about it better.
Like, bro, people can look at like let's use the homework for example, right? People can look at a homework assignment and bro already stressed out about the homework assignment before they even get started on doing it.
Yeah, that's where procrastination.
Yeah, that's where procrastination comes in when you feel like you have more time. When you feel like it's just bro. You've already attributed a negative thing to that certain thing that you have to do.
Exactly.
Like that's why it's I learned this thing from Joshua. That's why it's always important to not say, "Oh man, I need to do this. I need to do that." No, you get to do that.
You change the way you think
exactly.
about it.
You change your perspective, bro. Like that's why I always come back to perspective, because everything comes back to perspective, how you perceive things. Because a lot of people can say, "Man, I'm like this because of this," or "I do this because of this," but you're really like this because you choose to be like this.
The way you think about it.
The way you think about it, the way you perceive it. Because someone can go through the same thing, or someone can have the same assignment you're doing, the same challenges that you're doing, and go about it a completely different way.
Yeah. Yo, did you... Oh, this is the perfect time to bring this up. I really wanted to tell you this.
Yeah.
There's this thing called, like, delusion syndrome or something. So, boom. Bro, there's a story I wanted to tell. There was this family, right? Mm-hmm. It was a while back. I want to say 1900s or something, right? Mm-hmm. And so, it was this family. Let's just say somewhere in America for the sake of it, right? And so... One day, the mom comes up to the kids, and they're like, "Yo, we gotta move." Did I tell the story before?
No, I didn't
tell the story before. So there's this family. The mom comes to the kids one day, and she's like, "Yo, we gotta move. So there's 2 children, right? Mm-hmm. And so throughout their life, they move constantly. Mm-hmm. They're constantly moving, right? And the mom's like, "Yo, we gotta get away from dad." Blah blah blah, something like that, right? Mm-hmm. And then because the children will ask, "Yo, why dad not coming with us? Why dad not coming with us?" Right? Mm-hmm. They ask where their father is, and so they constantly move, right? And so for a certain amount of time, when the kids were in high school, they'd settle down for a little bit, right? And one day, randomly, the mom goes up to the oldest daughter, right? Because I think she's in junior or senior year, right? And she's like, "Tomorrow, you're gonna move. Don't tell any of your friends that you're moving. We're just moving tomorrow, right?" And so you know how teenagers can be. They have to let it out somehow, right? No. So that evening, the mother drops the daughter off at her friend's house, right? Yeah. So the daughter goes in, and the daughter's talking with her friend, yada yada yada, and the daughter tells the friend, "Yo, my mom's making us move. I don't know why." And so the mom comes and gets her, and so they have to act like everything's cool, right? And then they go on, right? Then they move again, exactly. Right? And so the daughter asks the mother one day, she's like, "When are you gonna tell me what happened?" And then the mother's like, "You'll understand when you're older, right?" Mm-hmm. Years pass, and the daughter's doing her own thing. She meets her husband. They're doing their things. They're about to get married. So, and one day the mom calls the daughter, and she's like, "Everything that happened in your childhood, I want to explain it now. I want to explain what happened." So she tells the daughter, "Come to this motel at this time, and at this time, everything, right?" So the daughter goes to the motel, and she has her phone. She has jewelry on, everything, right? And so the mother tells the daughter, she gives her this envelope, and she's like, "Put all the jewelry and stuff in here, the phone and everything in here." Exactly,
That's
right?
crazy.
So the daughter does that, and they go inside the motel, right? And they go inside the room. The mother tells the daughter, "I had to do that in case they put GPS tracking in it," right? They put GPS tracking in it. Listen, there's a man inside the room. There's a man inside the room. It was their old pastor from their church with the mother, and they tell her the whole story. So basically, the mother was like, "Your father was involved with gangs, and ever since you were little, the gangs have been trying to follow us, and they've been trying to kill us, yada yada yada. The only way you can be saved is if you join this FBI movement where literally armed soldiers will follow you wherever you are. They'll have your location. You just have to press a button, and then they'll come to you, right? Because remember, they're being followed by a gang, right?" The daughter, she thinks about it. A few days after, the daughter hits up the mom, and she's like, "I want to do it. I want to join this little secret corporation," right? She leaves her husband. She leaves her whole life, and she joins this. Later on, she'll find a new husband in this corporation. Other people are trying to flee gangs, right? The daughter wanted to do a test to see if this was actually real, like if there was actually a gang. So one day, when she's in her hotel room, she calls her mother, and she's like, "These people are banging on my door. Can you call? Can you send somebody? Yada yada yada." Right? The mother's like, "Okay. Just go lock yourself in the bathroom, and they should be there soon." She locks herself in the bathroom, right? And then the mother calls, and the mother's like, "Oh yeah, they took care of the problem. It turns out there's just people from dad's old gang that wanted to break in." There was nobody at the door. Come to find out, the mother and the pastor of the church, this whole time, they made this illusion in their head that they were being followed by gang members for 30, 40 years. The whole time in their head. There was no gang. Really? There was nobody.
This is a true story?
This is a true story. There's this medical condition called delusion syndrome or something. When you say something to yourself constantly, you literally start believing it.
What?
So the mother thought that there was literally gang members
insane.
Following them this whole time. That shows the power of the mind, bro.
Exactly, man.
Don't ever fall into delusion syndrome. Don't ever think. That's why you can never think negative stuff about yourself.
Yeah,
even if it's a joke.
Yeah.
Because slowly your brain can start believing it and slowly start feeding these negative thoughts to yourself.
Yeah, I was learning about the power of words, the effect of words. Because, like, bro, words have a really big effect on you and your mind, right? And I remember I was watching this one video, and this man was like, man, I never, no matter how tired, no matter how much I want to give, I never tell myself, I never say, man, I'm tired, man. You will never hear
even
those
if
words
you think it.
Even if he's actually tired, he's about to fall asleep. Nah, man, I'm up.
I'm up.
He just lies to himself.
Because literally, bro, you can trick your brain.
You can trick your brain.
You can literally trick
and if you tell yourself you're tired, bro, then you're gonna be tired.
You're gonna be tired.
Exactly.
You're literally gonna be tired. There was this psychology experiment where they were like, they told people if you didn't get a good rest of sleep in the morning, when you wake up in the morning, literally keep telling yourself you got a good amount of sleep, and your brain will literally convince itself, and you'll feel more awake.
You see, man?
Literally.
But that's crazy.
Literally. And people don't realize the power of it.
But we talk about this a lot because it's very important.
So important.
So important into, this attributes to, your success in life.
Exactly.
Because a lot of it is what you tell yourself, bro.
What you, outwardly manifest.
Exactly. What you feed into yourself. That's why, bro, I feel like anyone who has ever accomplished something first accomplished it in their mind. Then it's never on accident.
And we gotta start saying the stuff that we are. We gotta start saying we are doctors,
but we are
lawyers, we're this and that.
Exactly. It's never, oh man, I just accidentally, bro. It's never, man. I was watching this video before we started doing this. It was like, bruh, ain't nobody ever just wake up and they just accidentally become successful.
They just accidentally become a doctor.
They tripped and fell.
Bro. It's a process.
It's a process, bro. You gotta get up and get it, bro.
You gotta get up and get it, bro. Because nobody's gonna. Once you realize that nobody's gonna come save you, bro, your whole life changes. Bro.
Yeah, man.
Your whole life changes because you start giving everything to yourself, bro.
Because, bro, that's the thing. A lot of people fear their own potential, and a lot of people, bro, fear what they could become, bro. Because it's like, because it's very scary, and I remember you was talking about the imposter syndrome, right?
Yeah.
Because a lot of the times, bro, people can feel like, oh man, maybe I don't deserve this. Maybe I can't actually get to the point that I want to get to, and that's gonna bring you down entirely 100%. Just because of your thinking, bro.
100%.
If you say you can't do it.
And you can't do it.
The
man who says he can do it and the man who says he can't do it are both.
They're both right.
They're both right. So you really got to get up. Even though as cliche as it sounds, you really got to get up.
Bro, cliches are cliches for a reason.
You said this before.
Yeah,
man. And it's something that you got to keep stressing, bro. Because once you put stress on certain things because you actually truly believe them.
Exactly.
You actually stand on the different tasks, the different things that you believe throughout the day. And it all starts with small things, right? And that's with I'll go to direct communication, right? If you want because prevention is always better than cure.
Yeah.
If you want something to not happen, you're gonna have to start pointing out the small details, right? Like, let's say if you have a friend who does you wrong in a small way, X can lead to Y. So you gotta check certain things, bro. And that's with coming and having the audacity and the people that you keep in your corner. You gotta start focusing on the smaller stuff. We as humans, we don't focus on the small stuff. Because visually, if it's bigger, if it seems bigger than the other thing, we're going to want to focus on that more. But we don't realize that the smaller things, to build up a huge beach, you got to start off with the smallest grains of sand. You got to start with the smallest grains of sand, bro.
Yeah, that's tough. Yeah.
So that's the only way you build a beach, bro. And that's how small problems can turn into bigger problems, is by the small things, bro. The small things. And that's how you make an impact, bro. You start with the small things.
That's so true, bro. All this is just like a round, because all the things we've said, even though they may initially seem unrelated, even though they might be in completely different subjects of learning, they all connect.
They all connect, bro. And that's that's proven to actually better your memory. To start connecting stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
bro.
It's like a web.
My essay was literally about a cardboard box and how I connect. I don't know if you read my college essay.
Oh, no.
My college essay that got me into Georgia Tech was about me writing about a cardboard box.
Wait, no, wait.
My whole life story was through a cardboard box.
A cardboard box.
Cardboard box.
That's so hard, bro.
Bro,
That's
so
so
I
unique.
started writing. I was like, as I sit in immense boredom, because I was always a curious kid.
Yeah.
I looked at a cardboard box, and from there, I built this little plane model.
Mhm.
And I thought, how can I improve it?
Mhm.
And then I showed my improvement. And how that connected with my life, and how other people started noticing that I'm actually really good at this. And how people's criticism affected me, and how I built up, and how that wanted me to get into acting somehow. Like different stuff, bro.
Dang, yeah.
All from a cardboard box.
That's fire, bro.
All from a cardboard
It all
box.
built up.
All built up.
It's like a web, bro.
All
It
built up.
connects.
Everything connects, bro. So a tip, if you want to start remembering better, start connecting small things with bigger things, even if they might seem unrelated.
Mind maps.
Mind maps.
Yes,
Ooh.
Rick was talking about this. Yeah, mind maps. You just
mind maps are
connect
powered.
these different concepts, and you branch out, and you know the big main points lead to small things, and then you get into details. Bro, that is just a life in general, bro.
Life in general.
Oh, I was watching this video, right? That was like you can go on Wikipedia. You can click on any subgenre, anything. You just keep clicking. Yo, bro, after a couple clicks, you'll always end up to philosophy.
What?
Yes.
I didn't know
always.
that. I didn't know that.
Bro, it was tested multiple times. Yes, bro, you can start off with
That's insane.
random thing. That's because it all starts with thinking, bro.
It all starts with thinking.
It all starts with wisdom, just the human mind. Hey, bro,
Ooh.
Smhswisdom is for a reason,
Wisdom
bro.
is for a reason. Oh,
Man,
my goodness.
Bro, it all starts with
philosophy.
Bro, it all starts with philosophy.
Because you think of all the groundworks of anything in life, everything is called a philosophy.
Yeah,
People call politics a philosophy.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's a way of thinking.
Exactly. Everything is the way of thinking, and that's like that's where it branched out from. You know, everything branched out from thinking. You just ask questions. You're like, what's this? Like the way you're just curious about that cardboard box.
And I started asking questions. That's the only way humans got so far, by asking questions.
By asking questions, and then building up on that, bro. That's crazy.
The building up part is the hard part for people.
Yeah, exactly.
But you think about how humanity got to the moon, how humanity got to... Bro, scientists literally discovered life on another planet.
Bro, that's crazy.
That only came from thinking, bro. And asking why.
Exactly.
You never want to box yourself up, bro.
Yes. That's amazing, bro.
Never want to box yourself up.
You good, bro? Bro's dying.
Let me not say... I don't think I can say it on YouTube. COVID-19, bro.
Man, bro, this was a great episode right here. We really
lost my voice for it
a lot, bro.
But think, bro. I'm gonna always tell that to the younger generation is think and always ask why. My mom hated me asking why, but it got me somewhere. Now she loves me.
Now she loves me.
me.
Hey, Smhswisdom, go fire.
We love you all.